All eyes on Apple today as the company will hold a launch event at its headquarters in California. It's expected to debut 4 new iPhone models, a new Apple Watch, and its annual operating software update. Joining me now, CFRA Research Senior Equity Analyst Angelo Zino. Angelo, what are you expecting from today's event?
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of alluded to it in terms of, the actual lineup. We expect 4 phones. Really kind of the big thing is the ditching of the mini and kind of shifting towards a larger screen device out there. That'll naturally increase their average selling price all in all. But I think kind of the key issue to really watch out for at this event is really going to be on the pricing side of things. Now that they're going to have 2 standard devices, 2 Pro devices, the 2 Pro devices is really the focus here because it seems like they're putting a lot more power into those devices in terms of upgrades to the cameras as well as the A16 processor, where the more standard devices is really going to look a lot like the iPhone 13. So if there's potential for upside to the pricing side of things, we think it ends up coming from these Pro devices, and we're thinking as much as $100 in terms of increases for both their Pro devices.
Given the economic environment, are they going to be able to push that price increase for these Pro devices?
Yeah, and I think that's the question, right? I mean, at the end of the day here, they're going to keep kind of the lower price devices at their usual starting price. It's going to naturally inflate by $100 because they're getting rid of the mini. We do think there could potentially be weaker than expected demand on the lower side of things. But at the end of the day, we do expect consumers to really show up this holiday season. And we are looking for upside in both the September and December quarters in terms of the revenue numbers. We think where the issue really comes in hand for this cycle, it's more in the March quarter as well as the June quarter, as the cycle kind of gets longer in the tooth, as some of those macro factors really kind of show itself out. So at the end of the day, we see upside in the near term. We think as the cycle extends, there are going to be macro issues definitely at hand.
And speaking of that, we were talking about the prices. The phones that will be announced later today, they are expected to be the priciest yet that Apple has had. A new survey showing 59% of iPhone users say they have no plans to upgrade their phones. On that note, though, do people usually say one thing and do another, particularly when it comes to their adherence to Apple?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think there's a very loyal base as far as kind of the Apple installed base is concerned, and we've seen that time and time again from these cycles, right? But, at the end of the day, you look at the smartphone industry, it's essentially seen a decline every single year since 2016 outside of last year because of the easy pandemic comps. So Apple's had to really contend with, extending replacement cycles for the smartphone industry for years. But they've been able to continue to grow, right, because of their ongoing shift towards higher prices, the shift from 2 to 3 to 4 phones. So we do think at the end of the day, listen, replacement cycles are going to continue to extend. We're looking for 0 growth in terms of units here in the iPhone 14 cycle. So all the growth, all the heavy lifting really does have to come from higher average selling prices.
Right. Before we go, Google yesterday announcing its own launch event for early next month, expecting to unveil its newest Pixel smartphone along with its first smartwatch. Any thoughts on that, Angelo, before we go?
Yeah, I mean, I think really quick, expect more just, your usual upgrades on both the phone, the Pixel 7 on the phone side of things, as well as on their watch ecosystem. Some of your typical upgrades on the kind of the camera side of things, among other areas, new processors, a lot of the same stuff that Apple's kind of been looking at. At the end of the day, though, it's really not a needle driver for the smartphone industry. We think more Alphabet continues to focus on hardware to really push a lot of the other Android vendors out there to continue to upgrade.
Angelo, thank you so much for being here this morning. Angelo Zino.